Hey achievers, it's time to learn, it's time to learn. Hey achievers, it's time to learn, it's time to learn. Uniquely Crafted Academy, it's time to learn. Are you guys ready to learn? Let's dive right in. Here we have important lines on globes and maps. We have the equator. We have the Prime Meridian. We have the internal date line. We have meridians of longitude. And we have parallels of latitude. We are going to go over the Prime Meridian and the international date line. All right now, first, we're going to get into the Prime Meridian. The Prime Meridian is the imaginary line that divides Earth into two equal parts, the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere. The Prime Meridian is also used as the basis for the world's time zones. The Prime Meridian appears on maps and globes. It is the starting point for the measuring system called longitude. Longitude is a system of imaginary north-south lines called meridians. They connect the North Pole to the South Pole. Meridians are used to measure distance in degrees, east or west from the Prime Meridian. The Prime Meridian is 0 longitude. The 180th meridian is the line of longitude that is exactly opposite the Prime Meridian. It is 180 degrees longitude. Lines of longitude east of the Prime Meridian are numbered from 1 to 179 east. Lines of longitude west of the Prime Meridian are numbered from 1 to 179 west. Let's talk about international date line. Here we have a picture of a globe and the imaginary lines. From east to west, you see the equator. And then from north to south, you see the international date line. The international date line in the middle of the Pacific Ocean is an imaginary line that is called the international date line. It runs from the North Pole to the South Pole and is almost directly on the opposite side of the Earth from the Prime Meridian, which is the 0 degrees longitude. Remember, longitude lines are imaginary lines that run from north to south and divide the Earth into 360 parts. They can help tell you where you are in the eastern or western hemisphere of the Earth. The international date line was drawn over 130 years ago and is officially the line that separates two different days on the calendar. So on one side of the line is Tuesday and the other side of the line is Wednesday. If you stood on one side and then hopped over to the other, you could say you're sort of time traveling. When you move to the west from the international date line, the day becomes 1 day later. Actually, it's impossible to jump back and forth across the line because it's in the middle of the ocean and it's an imaginary line, so it's not really there. Let's take a look at this short video concerning international date line. Here, you see the globe rotating. As it is rotating, you see the line is the international date line, which separates the days. You see night, and you see where on the sun side, day. And as it rotates, it's changing from day to night, from day to day. Isn't that cool and interesting? Let's continue to look as the globe rotates and changes. Now that we went over the Prime Meridian and the international date line, let's talk about time zones. Do you believe in time travel? A time zone is an area on the earth that has a specific time that all citizens can set their clocks to. Different time zones exist as you move from east to west or west to east on the surface of the earth. The further you travel, the more time zones you'll pass. Time zones are not something that naturally occurs. Humans came up with time zones and decided which parts of the earth are in which time zones. Why do we have time zones? Time zones make it so that everyone has the same pattern of sunrise in the early morning and sunset at night. We need time zones because the earth is curved like a ball. As the sun shines on the earth, not all places get the same amount of sunlight. The sun shines on one side of the earth and makes it light out daytime, while the other side is dark nighttime. If time zones didn't exist, many people around the world would have very weird patterns of sunlight during the day. Next, we're going to watch a short video about time zones. Make sure you are paying attention.
What time is it? A seemingly easy question. But at any given moment, the time will be different in different places in the world. While one person is waking up to breakfast at 7 a.m., another will be heading off to bed at 10 p.m. Local time all depends on what time zone you're in. A time zone is simply a region on Earth which is bound by longitudinal lines. These lines, sometimes called meridians, run vertically from the North to the South Pole, each 15 degrees apart. Meridians break the world into 24 time zones. A time difference of 1 hour per zone occurs with the rotation of the Earth. If it is, say, 2 p.m. at one meridian, 30 degrees west will be 2 time zones or 2 hours behind. So here it would be high noon. Between zones 0 and 24 lies the international date line, where you cross from one day to the next. But who decided what time it was and where? Whatever time it is now, it is the result of an historic event in 1884. At the International Meridian Conference, Canadian Sir Sandford Fleming proposed that time begin at Greenwich, London, a major trade and shipping hub of the time. Using Greenwich as the agreed universal meridian, the 24 time zones were established. The system was known as Greenwich Mean Time. By 1929, most countries had aligned their clocks accordingly. Because your body clock is adapted to the time zone you live in, moving around the globe into other time zones can affect you. If you travel from London to Los Angeles, for example, you'll be 8 hours behind. This means you'll be hungry when you should be sleeping, and nodding off when it's time to go out and explore. The time on your watch was set over a century ago. But wherever you go, it will be constantly changing.
Let's answer some questions. Can you guess? Brittany and Shay were best friends. One day, Shay went to Brittany's house to let her know that she would be moving across country. Her and her family left that night. When Shay and her family arrived to their new country, she texted Brittany. It was early in the morning where Shay was, but Brittany couldn't talk long because it was bedtime where she was at. Shay was confused on why it was nighttime where Brittany was, but morning where she was. Why do you think? Push pause and write the answer down. What is the Prime Meridian? Push pause and write your answer down now. Why was the International Dateline created? Explain. Push pause and write the answer down. The Prime Meridian is used for bases of what? Push pause and write the answer down. The International Dateline is in the middle of what ocean? Push pause and write your answer down now. Does the International Dateline run from east to west? Push pause and write your answer down now. What is a time zone? Explain. Push pause and write your answer down now. The International Dateline is on the same side as the Prime Meridian. True or false? Write your answer down now. Why are the Prime Meridian, International Dateline, and the time zones important? Explain. Push pause and write your answer down now. If it is 6 p.m. in California, is it the same time in New York? Push pause and write your answer down now. Yay! Isn't social studies fun? Can't wait to learn again with you next time. Uniquely Crafted Academy Production.